Welcome to Elevate Springfield, where we will dive into strategies and stories that help you rise to your full potential. Each episode, we'll talk about how you can take intentional steps to elevate your life and your business while making a meaningful impact on those around you. Along the way, we're going to bring in the change makers from our community that are already elevating. We'll bring the actionable strategies, you bring the discipline and follow through, and together we can elevate Springfield.
All right, let's go, Springfield. Time to get after it. Time to 10x another day. Time to crush the morning, crush the afternoon, or crush whatever time of day you are listening to me right now. You are listening to the Elevate Springfield podcast. Robert Farrell here, certified 10X coach, speaker, and mentor, here to bring you actionable strategies. You bring the discipline and follow through, and together we're going to elevate Springfield. Well, we are coming to you from beautiful downtown Springfield in the Big Dog Construction Studio. Another phenomenal week coming up. So many great things. Hey, over the weekend, spent some time out at the West Side Market. If you haven't been to one of those yet, I would certainly recommend it. You might recall about a month ago, I went there and I spoke with a ton of business owners that day and turned them into the podcast for later on that week. And I did the exact same thing this time. So on Sunday, I spoke with quite a few different local business owners, and we'll be dropping that podcast this Thursday. I had a really great time talking with so many local folks, how they started their business, why they started their business, and of course, a little bit of their advice on how to elevate their life and business. So this week, a couple of great events coming up. You do have the Wow Effect. That's the SILSA Summit on Tuesday, and then we've got the Shoes, Brews, and Biz from the Chamber on Thursday evening. Two great events that you could participate in. Then next week, if you're a member of Local First Springfield or Land and Lincoln Professional Networking Group, on October 15th, we have that joint event out at Pole Barn Chic. Check out either one of our Facebook pages for more information there. Like we always talk about, embarrassment of riches when it comes to opportunities to get out and network, opportunities to learn and grow here in Springfield. So, hey, get out and do it, y'all. Today, have a great guest, Dr. Kelly Neumann from Kinematics with Kelly. Great story, very purpose-driven individual. So many great nuggets, and we talked a lot about physical therapy, and she actually took me through two of her protocols that she uses. She brought some movement tech, and before we went on air, we utilized that, so we're going to talk about that as well. Before we get to Dr. Neumann, I do want to thank Custom Property Solutions. Anything you need land-wise, whether it be land clearing, forestry, mulching, hardscapes, landscapes, or anything in between, Brandon and his team are going to take care of you with precision and passion. Hey, give them a shout or head over to Custom Property Solutions, LLC.com. Be right back with Dr. Kelly Neumann.
Custom Property Solutions transforms land and outdoor spaces throughout Central Illinois with precision and passion. From clearing overgrown brush to crafting stunning patios and fire pits. Need expert lawn care, excavation, or fence row clearing? They've got you covered, safely, efficiently, and on budget. Fully insured and satisfaction guaranteed. Visit Custom Property Solutions, LLC.com today, where your land meets their passion.
All right, and we are back. Joining me in the studio now, we just got done with a really cool test that we'll talk about here in a bit. But joining me is Dr. Kelly Neumann from Kinematics with Kelly. Dr. Neumann, how you doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Another beautiful day in downtown
You're very
Springfield.
deceiving. You're holding a coffee cup.
I know. Well, I drink
Is it
coffee.
got
It
coffee?
is coffee. Yeah,
Nuh-uh.
I do.
Really?
I drink coffee most of the day. I mean, but I'll do decaf after a certain point.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah, I don't want to have caffeine completely all the way through.
Josh, one of the guys at Supremacy Sports Performance, he's over at Powerworks. His coffee, oh my gosh, but they don't play games. And let me tell you who else doesn't play games is firefighters.
Oh, yeah.
Their
Yeah.
coffee, oh my gosh. Ooh.
I'm the same way. I like it as dark and as bitter as you can get it.
You know
So-
what? See, My dad, he calls my coffee frou-frou.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm one of those.
Okay, no, that's all right.
But
You like what you like.
I
Go.
love coffee though. Coffee with Cali.
I'm pretty strict on my diet and everything, but the one
Oh,
thing
you
that
have to have your coffee.
yeah, my coffee,
Oh
I know I drink too much caffeine. I know I have too much caffeine. That's my one thing that I know
you
I
know,
need to work
like,
on.
I don't get me wrong. Like I flow energy, but it's caffeinated. It's definitely
Right.
caffeinated.
Yeah. There you go. No doubt about it. Well, Kelly, tell us a little bit about you. You know, we'll talk about your business here in a minute, but what's your background like?
I am originally from Jackson, Missouri, Southeast Missouri, in the Boo Hill, and then headed to St. Louis. I was the first doctorate of physical therapy program at Maryville University.
Really?
And so we were the first, and it was very much implemented like this is a big deal, guys. What is happening? And as a student, you're like, okay, the older people are saying that, and the professors and oh my gosh, Maryville was a perfect fit for me in so many ways. So, and then I actually met my husband there, and he's a physical therapist too.
Okay.
And went on our clinicals, had our time away. And then, that part of our life was just so fun.
Oh, I bet.
Oh my gosh. So my clinicals were, my clinicals were in Bloomington. I stayed with one of my best friends' parents. And then I realized that because I'm not very good at geography, like at all. Like, it's bad.
Okay.
So anyways, I was like, oh my gosh, this is such a great clinical rotation. This is a pediatric day rehab facility. I know a girl up in Chicago. Surely, we'll make this work.
Right.
And it ended up being like probably an hour and a half commute.
Yeah, a little further than you might think.
And luckily, my friend's parents had basically it was brother lived in Arlington Heights. So then it was just Arlington Heights to Northbrook.
Right.
And so I had that one. I had one in Bloomington. So that one was more sports and ortho, which I loved. It was fantastic. And then in Chicago, it was more about, like a day rehab facility for neuro patients.
Oh,
so it was all
okay.
pediatric. So it was a lot of hands-on, many hands-on techniques. I learned so much. And at that time, my husband was back home with my mom and dad and sister. And that's when we knew Rusty was part of the family. He could last in Jackson, Missouri for 10 weeks. With Joyce and Kenny, he was a keeper. And then we moved. He did a clinical also in Springfield. And because his brother Randy came to Springfield, and Rusty wanted to be close to Randy and be close to his niece and his nephew. That was always so important to Rusty, like right out of school.
Sure.
So we settled down here, was with Premier Physical Therapy. Yeah. Remember Premier? So Rusty did his clinical at Premier and loved Gary. Loved Gary Gummerman. Gary Gummerman is a physical therapist that is there's a lot of PTs that are rock solid in this area that are just phenomenal. So Rusty loved working under Gary. So we moved to Springfield.
There you go.
And he's always been in Burden. I've always been in Chatham. It's been a lot in injury prevention, sports performance. Did a lot of volunteer work, lots of research. Recently, just like in 2024, Rusty and I were like, there's got to be another, because we personally and clinically, we know that there's gaps in our system. Why don't we do something? But it's a system, and it takes time and it takes structure. So when we graduated, we did our doctorate dissertation together. That's when you know that you can survive a marriage.
After you go through that with them?
When you can do your doctorate with your husband and not kill each other. Right. We had great research professors, awesome. Taught us a lot about how to utilize this going forward as doctors of physical therapy. The knowledge of what physical therapists are and what we do and how we do it, it's so intricate that it's easier just to be like, "Oh, it's just PT."
Sure. Sure.
It's way more. I mean, there are systems that specialize in each component. Like me, I have experience in the neuro, the ortho, the peds, and sports, which is in the movement assessment. So it's almost like all flows together in this whole wellness
Mhm.
like perspective, which is the proactive, approach
Absolutely.
of like understanding how to use movement as medicine and like how therapists, that's why clinics are backed up is because that's the answer. People want it fixed. You have to move. That's something that's only done yes, I can move you, but how is that really
Right.
helping?
That's not.
You
Right.
know, and not to mention there's things that happen neurologically in our bodies that cannot happen unless you literally tap into your frontal lobe.
Mm.
There's so much science behind wellness and health that it's so misunderstood and just trying to bring some enlightening views
Mhm.
of whole round because now I got into this part, just seeing where we can be beneficial.
Sure.
Oh my gosh. And it's like, this is a model. Like, we need to do more research.
Mhm.
So it's so funny because this bald, I also have force decks. Force decks actually like quantify more of that like the load. So they're decks and you can do jumps, you
Yeah.
can do,
Uh-huh.
you can really test your strength. So we never know whether we want to test like ballistically or if we need to test more stability. Which one? Everyone's going to be different. Everyone's brain's different. Usually we want a 50-50, but sometimes you test more ballistic in nature. So that means that you need to train more, a little bit more, incorporate more of stability based stuff
Okay.
in recovery, like just so that you hit that component that is limiting your
Sure.
performance. So it's really cool.
What do you primarily do at your practice?
Oh my gosh, whatever I can think outside the box.
Yeah.
100%. Because my goal is to provide, I was able to get outside the clinic because I saw people working really, really, really hard and are very, very passionate about health and wellness and being proactive. Those are the reason why my patients have stayed healthy is because I send them to place, it's the referral process. It's all around. Everyone's utilized fantastic. And as a clinician, and that's so important. That's how the rehabilitation model is. I'm looking more to develop a new model. In the therapy world, it would just be considered injury prevention to simplify it.
Sure.
But then there's a lot of people that are like, why? Okay, well, until they're injured. I've been treating athletes for over 10 years and most of them in collegiate because when I didn't work full time at the clinic, I volunteered at Lincoln Land for over 10 years. You can say I kind of used them like a guinea pig because I was learning too. I was a new clinician. I remember it was my first symposium, right? Because it's when Premier got, because at one point St. John's took over Premier and then we were all with HSHS and that team they're epic, like love. But then it just goes more than that because PTs in general, it's a different breed. You have to be so compassionate and so like, everyone's so different and it's okay to be that different in the PT world. You want to be different in a PT world because not everyone's going to relate to each other. So at a clinic of really like high energy people, heck yeah, bring them with me so
Yeah.
I can
Let's
match their
go.
energy. So at our Chatham clinic, it was Allie specializes in hands, Gary's mobilization, like an integrative dry needling and dynamic cupping. And there's so many things that physical therapists have tools that we utilize to really maximize the healing process.
What's integrative dry needling?
Oh my gosh, one of my favorite
Threw
things.
threw that out there, and I'm not sure
Oh
everybody
my
knows what that
gosh.
is.
Ask away. Integrative dry needling. Think of it as our way to treat joints. We mobilize them, we make them roll one way, glide another way. Our way to treat a connective tissue, your muscles, your skin, is all through your stretching and stuff. And these all help with pain because of the movement of it. But the reason we have pain is because the nerve is inflamed, it's irritated, and with that can cause what we call inhibition. So where it just kind of turns off, and
Oh,
it
okay.
just like your brain just cannot, because it's just a signal. So integrative dry needling combines a lot of different needling techniques, all of them. Your Eastern and Western, and we tie it all together
That's awesome.
into what the integrative dry needling approach, which is treating your parasympathetic. It's more understanding, first of all, that people need to understand there's a parasympathetic system, sympathetic system, and explain to the patient what that means, and explain, okay, now this is how we initiate here. And then when you play a role into the integrative dry needling, it's not just talking about it, because now we're actually applying it. I'm not just talking about nerves under your skin you can't see. They're there. I believe they're there. They are there. Let me let you feel it. It's there, even if you can't see it.
Mhm.
And so to simplify, you have local points, and that is when you push. Do you have one of those points? Do you
Where
have a point?
where it hurts when I push?
Yeah. It's easier if yeah.
Not really, I guess.
Give me your hand. Okay. So what we look at is your median nerve, your ulnar nerve, and your radial nerve. Okay. Those are your three big guys
Mhm.
that kind of come down. They all branch out of your neck. So we want to assess the whole shebang, right? So one of the hot spots like is where your radial nerve comes out. Hold right there. Don't let me push. So you have a radial nerve that runs right here.
Mhm.
And then there's a 4 points down, so along here. And if it's tender along there,
There it was.
yeah, so you
Tender right there, that
yeah,
last one.
and then you kind of go down and you just like assess like that peripheral nerve inflammation of it by touch. So you go along the neural line to see where the pain is,
Yeah,
right?
and I could feel that more. Yeah, that right there. I
Yeah.
felt it.
So that would be what you call so
Mhm.
the needle goes in, it makes a little micro lesion, and it starts stimulating your already natural healing process because your brain perceives a little micro lesion. Oh, we need to heal. So it
Mhm.
goes and it heals. Sometimes in chronic conditions that does not it is so hard to tame that, to calm the storm,
Mhm.
because it is just ignited everywhere. So there's the local and then the systemic effect. So your systemic effect is the big guy. And that is when we can start communicating with the brain through where we put our needle. Like there's different homeostatic points, there's paraspinal points. It gets very, very intricate. All of these different approaches are everywhere. No one knows about them.
Okay.
So
You're wanting to get that out a little bit.
yeah, absolutely. Like dry needling. I've been certified in integrative dry needling for over 2016. No, sooner than that, something like that. There was one time that I remember I had to go to Texas to get certified. And I went with one of my coworkers. And that was one of the funnest trips just because we got to stay in one of those sports facilities. And I would remember being in the locker room and being like, because I'm not really a big football player. I love football, the movement of it, the concept. I get really lost quickly, and it doesn't retain well. Anyways, that was good.
Yeah,
That was good.
I bet. So you said it talked a second ago about the parasympathetic versus the
Oh,
sympathetic.
yeah, let's get back on that one.
Well, just because I hear that a lot, I've listened to a lot of health and wellness podcasts
Yes!
and everything, and sometimes those folks, they throw it out there, assuming everybody knows what it means.
Gosh!
So I thought hey, somebody might know what not know the difference between the two.
100%. So I have tried to put everything into a kid's mentality lately because of my children. So it started, I explained it as a squid because they seem to interpret that well.
Okay.
So think of a squid, right? And then you got to have all the legs, right? Now think about then taking all those legs and going like this and
Okay.
go all the way down. And they're like, okay. And then there's a little tail, right? So that is your central nervous system. And then the peripheral nervous system then is your branches into your arms, into your legs. In the nervous system itself, especially in the central nervous system, so the brain and the spinal cord, that's what I had described by the squid.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get that?
I did. Or at least I was assuming that's what it meant.
Did you visualize it?
I did. I did visualize that. That was good. That was good.
Different animals to find the right one that really made Mom's point relevant.
I think that works.
Because they were like, no, Mom, that doesn't work. I'm like, okay, it's like this. They're like, no.
Right.
So we started, and that led me to like kinematics with kids, where like kids need to learn how to move because it is fun. When they start learning that, for instance, central nervous system is sympathetic and parasympathetic. Do they need to know those words? No. They need to learn S and P. P, peaceful. S, start, go, boom, So I think those are the trigger is just simplifying it a little bit more so that people are, when you hear neurology, they don't go run in a room and say, no, that's not what such and said. It all ties together. Neurology is what puts everything together, but it's complex. And for me, it makes sense because I just see lines. I know those lines and those are nerves. And if you can communicate and understand what's going down that peripheral nerve and where it starts from, your plan of care already has dramatically improved just because you can isolate-ish at least what nerve root, or did it even track to the root? Because if it's more of a peripheral injury, then centrally, it's not going to be as irritated. But if it was a peripheral injury and it was real traumatic, you can have that neural signal be irritated at your spinal level. So that's when you start understanding the whole point of it's the brain. That is where our answers are. It's understanding how to either retrain your brain, learn new things. I'm always learning. I love learning.
No doubt about it. That's the way we sharpen our axe and keep growing, right?
So when you talk the parasympathetic system, we need to be able to de-stem. And there's different things, for instance, that mindful, take a deep breath in, you hear that all the time. Do you know the science behind it?
Do not.
Do you want to know?
Let's hear it. I do. Let's hear it.
Okay. So let's do it together. In your chair. Yep, we're going.
Okay.
Sit up in your chair a little bit more. Yep, this way.
Oh,
yep.
Okay.
Yeah, because you really need it.
Be up and chest out.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, because look at your lower back. Put your hand on that lower back. Yep. You need to be up. Okay. That's your rib cage, right? There you go. Okay, put your hands right here. Okay. Take a deep breath in and out. Now, as you breathe in, try and contract. And as you breathe out, try and contract. It's all in your core. Now close your eyes. Wiggle your shoulders if you need to. Yep. So it's just auditory. And it's just you. Shoulder blades go down and in. Take a deep breath in and out. Let it all the way go. Act like you're about to blow out, like blow on hot chocolate, but you don't want to blow the marshmallows out. Does that make sense? Take a deep breath in. Relax your neck and out. And arms go down and open up your eyes. Okay. So by doing that breath work, it stimulates something called your vagus nerve.
Mhm.
Okay. So when we have that, that is our sensor of like, if we don't have this, then it doesn't get stimulated as much. So then we can't track that signal from what's going on from here, from here. So it's really important to tap into that so you can have that nervous system like stimulation. Like so when you wake up in the morning, everyone's on the grounding, right?
Oh, yeah.
Grounding
Yep.
out,
I do
right?
that every morning.
I
Yeah.
love grounding.
Every morning.
Oh my gosh. So important. I feel the grass. Take a deep breath in, take a deep breath out. It doesn't have to be long. You don't have to do anything special. It's just your time. I love my favorite time is when it goes from night to light. I love seeing the sunrise. It is one of my favorite times. I will wake up for a sunrise. At first, grounding was really healing for me because we always talk wellness in this new world of mine of explaining. Let me tell you, that in itself is very interesting. Kelly, what are you doing? So if you're not doing outpatient rehab, Kelly, what are you doing? Because there's so much that needs to happen, for true wellness and health and understanding. And a lot of it's just improving the knowledge, getting resources, understanding that you're not alone, understanding that there's a huge support group somewhere. Everyone has it. That is my favorite part is because I love to be a part of everyone's team. Like, love it. Everyone already has a team. Because a lot of times you hear there's this thing with chiropractors and therapists. I don't really get it. I have never gotten it since
Sure.
I was like a new grad at all. I was like, this is fantastic. Like a great way to reset. And then we go, and we fix and we go. And hopefully they stay with their stuff,
Mhm.
But then it always happens. But then people come back. It's a chronic issue. It happens. Life happens. We get that. As therapists, we understand that. Our own bodies. Are you kidding me? We don't move great. The reason that I had to go on my own and Rusty is because we needed an opportunity to be able to take care of our family and
Mhm.
our bodies so we can help others. There's a grind at the clinic level. There's a grind that a lot of people don't know about. It's really easy for people to pass judgment on clinicians, especially in the rehab world. A lot of it is that just awareness. There's resources out there. There's tools out there. But yet there's still that, and that's what my question was. Why? Why is it still not integrating?
Mhm.
Like, this is what you got to do. This is your movement is medicine. So if
Mhm.
you want to feel better here, this is what you need to do.
Oh, that movement is medicine. I like that.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I like
Oh,
that.
that's a hashtag.
It is, isn't it? I like
Hashtag
that.
movement is medicine
Uh-huh.
and hashtag mission to move.
Okay.
Yeah.
Talk to us a little bit about that. What's the hashtag mission to move?
Oh, that's new.
Yeah?
It's coming out. Hashtag mission to move is something that I realized started when I lost my sister. She passed away in 2016. That was my way of healing for that time. I was pregnant. I had a 3-year-old and then Rem. I was pregnant and I'd lost my sister. So the therapy model helped me just completely go brain in on everyone else's case so I didn't have to deal with my it helped me stay connected to my sister. And that was one of the hardest things is because anytime I would even try to talk about my sister, I would lose it. And it was just one of those things that you just and as a clinician, you know what topics to touch on, what not to touch on. You always talk about that, like, because it's important to your plan of care. Knowing your person is part of it because
Mhm.
every single movement they do, whether it's sedentary or whether it's one of those repetitive things, that movement is dictating their pathology if they're there for you. It's it can tell a lot. So Rusty and I, my husband, we're very passionate in this because we have seen a lot of cases that there's a lot of if there, what ifs, and as science is progressing and advancements are happening, we don't want to fall behind. But, as physical therapists, we're now innovating not only into the rehabilitation, but also the wellness and injury prevention. That's untapped because it hasn't been, a model developed yet.
And what does that look like, you think, the prevention model?
That's my favorite thing to talk about. So, this has been years of research and finding the best way to track like that. The reason I was successful as a physical therapist is because I've always used movement sensors. Those movement sensors were actually from my sister's foundation after she passed because we needed a way to quantify movement. We needed to stop guessing. And it might have just been me needing a way to heal, think about my sister without collapsing, like being excited about it. And so I integrated Dorsavi into the St. John's area where they can use sensors and now it's advanced to where it's just AI through with a 3 to 5 degree difference in range of motion, which would help dramatically in clinician workflow. But these are all answers that are just now coming out, and now it's working together to help everyone understand the tech, understand that this is the next. Our clinicians are struggling, whether it's mentally, physically, socially. You can go into the wellness, the model of it, like spiritual, like those are your pillars. And I think we all struggle in each aspect of wellness. It's constantly a thing. I always look at it as, so I was a waitress.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
I was a TGI Fridays waitress.
Uh-huh.
I was a lot of kind of waitresses. But listen, I was really good at balancing the tray. So good that I also was at the Verizon Amphitheater. Have you ever been to in St. Louis? Okay, that's where all the concerts and stuff in that.
Okay, yeah.
The big guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was the front girl that does all the box seat.
Okay.
So I got to listen to all the concerts. It was fantastic. It was one of the best college jobs ever.
I bet it was. No doubt about it.
And so you would work from 4 to not like basically 8 because they stopped. Last call was always before the last concert. And so then you got the whole concert
You got to get
on the grass.
beat that. Can't beat that.
But
Let's go.
anyways, Trey, I remember there was one. It was a bad one. It was like one of those real feisty ones. We had some of those. Motley Crue. It was the Motley Crue one. That was a feisty one.
I bet it was.
I did get bit during that. I saved those though.
But
the beer, 100%, 100%.
Even while getting bit.
Oh, and I fell over a chair and I kept it.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That's skill there.
That's practice. So your wellness model is, but it's like your tray, right? And you have your glasses and every day you want to film a little bit. And if you used a little bit more of one the day before, make sure to refill. You use the time you have just to balance, to understand where you personally are struggling because everyone wants to compare their own model to someone else's. And that's the first no-no. As soon as you start comparing to someone else, your brain no longer locks into what's going on inside you. We lose that opportunity to really connect with ourselves. And this year has taught me that it's really important to do that and that you can embody some strength you probably didn't realize that you can pull through. And I've seen that in a lot of people, and there's a lot of people that are grinding and are really good at what they do, and maybe not have been the star. Like they need props and they need help. And those are the ones that I see, and my heart just go. I truly believe that I've had a calling since I was a kid, to
That's
the T,
awesome. Yeah.
to the T. Like, it's undeniable, no lie, since third grade.
You've always wanted to know this is what you wanted to do.
Physical therapist.
Wow. All right.
Third grade, physical therapist. Ask anyone from third grade on, Kelly, what do you want to be? Physical therapist.
That's crazy.
Did I know what a physical therapist was? No.
Sure.
No, man. I had no idea. But I knew they helped people.
Yeah.
And I knew that there was something associated with health and wellness, because on career day in third grade at my parochial school, me and my bestie, Molly, we were able to wear the same cardigan, and it had a little running man. It was her ants practice, her
Mhm.
self practice. So we both had ants and PT, and we had cute little cardigans. And from then on, I was like, oh, yeah, PT. But then I started shadowing, and then I started noticing myself reach out to others, that it's harder to communicate the why they do something.
Mhm.
And I really liked that. I liked that people could always talk to me. And then I talk back, and then you feel better. Why wouldn't you want an occupation that's centered around that communication of healing? Like,
Yeah.
it's just, my little third grade brain know that? No, but for how things have worked out, I am very blessed. And,
That's awesome.
and I'm very much just grateful for this area too, and how cool it is.
So many great people and businesses around here, isn't there?
So many awesome people. It's so cool to see it flourish. Like, just so cool to see, especially when you start talking to people. I love that. It's
Mhm.
like, these little social networking things.
Fun, aren't
I
they?
wish we did that in the PT world. Well,
Right.
like, I think that was supposed to be the APTA thing, but like, when you're a full-time clinician, you don't have time to go to APTA stuff. And then, so that's another thing. As a clinician, I started losing insight on all the new stuff. And that was like my passion. Like, movement tech
Right.
is where our answers are. Like, to be able to quantify and track for someone with their brain, see that what they're doing is that. It's not me, it's movement is medicine.
Well,
And
let's talk about that. Before we went on the
Bald.
air here, we did some some movement tech with
Yes.
me here. You had me do a number of different movements. I had this camera on me the whole time.
Uh-huh.
So tell us briefly what that was doing to me.
So it's Vald,
Uh-huh.
Vald Performance. They are a company that when I did Rusty and I did our doctorate dissertation, our research team, are you ready for this? Our Maryville research team was me, him, one of his best friends, also from Quincy, and then one of my sister's old best friend
Uh-huh.
from back home. So we did this thing. We all go our own ways. 10 years later, kid you not, Katie, she's back in Jackson and she's doing PT. Forbes is in St. Louis. He's doing PT. And then Rusty and I are up here. Forbes called me out of nowhere, and I hadn't talked to him in like 10 years, right? And so anytime you hear one of those voices, you're like, so you already start rerouting back to a time that you may have forgotten. And that was cool. That was really cool and he started using this product, and he was like, here's the thing, Kelly, like, people get it, and it's like having a Ferrari but not being able to learn how to test it, not go drive it to really figure out the nitty-gritty of it. And then because he was in that same point in his career where you've been doing it, you see where there can be changes, and then realize, holy cow, this is why all of those PTs work so hard. So that I could be the first doctor of physical therapy that goes outside a clinic and be like, hi, and actually have that accreditation, because the therapists before haven't at all. That's why it was so important. Direct access was so important. So Vald is a way that therapists can start, and not just therapists can teach how to use this equipment. And this equipment is the saving grace for a clinician. So instead of computer, okay, to take this, measure that, because you can't just go off of your like knowledge and how you feel. It's got to be for insurance.
Got to have some data. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So after a while of that, it can get a lot of caseload, like the workflow where the documentation just becomes half of your treatment session. And that's not cool. My hands are supposed to be on my patient. I've always thought that. And Vault gives us an opportunity to get the numbers, appreciate them, see their deficits, understand their compensations, and then go. And you have it all there. Boom, workflow, check. So I'm hoping that, this is good for wellness and health in general.
Sure.
But physiology, like when you start applying it to patho, which is more of your rehabilitation model. So therapists can utilize this data to understand where the true deficit is coming from. We might have pain in our elbow, but that doesn't mean it's not coming from our neck unless it's, but to assess everything is impossible in one evaluation completely. But if we can at least get a general idea of how they're moving and have someone understand that this is always readily available to you. This is your understanding of your movement. You're in charge of it. There are your answers. It is the next step up. And I'm so excited to bring it to this area. It's really cool. And right now we're still in the testing phase because I think that it's going to be so instrumental in the rehab setting that I hope it's adaptable. My goal is teach the clinicians learn, apply to the rehab model, ease workflow. Then you go to the chiropractors and the different people that really struggle, because this is just because I'm friends with chiropractors, massage. I love people. If there is a different occupation of a friend, I'm grilling them. And I'm not grilling them because I think they don't know what they're talking about. I'm grilling them because I literally want to know.
Right.
I am just so curious.
Yeah.
But some people look at that as they get very reactive.
Yeah. A lot of people
and that's always a good thing to have versatility.
All right, Kelly. Well, we've had a lot of great stuff today.
This was awesome.
It's fun.
Thank
right?
you so much for having me.
I always like to close with these couple of things. Give the audience one piece of advice, one on the personal side, one on the professional side to help them elevate their life or business.
I love this. Okay. Just do you, boo-boo. That personal. Be you. Be proud of who you are. Embrace it. Love it. Use that to find your purpose. That's the one thing everyone's always, Kelly, what's your secret? What's your secret? A purposeful life has what always been drilled into me as from my roots, right? And I've learned that from my family, each one of us supplies a different part. And if we didn't fully embrace that, then it's not complete. So to encourage people to be that unique person, to be proud of who you are and stand tall and strong and just be you, boo-boo.
Let's go. And is there anything we could do community-wide to help all of us here elevate Springfield and the surrounding community?
Yes. Hashtag mission to move.
There you go.
Hashtag movement is medicine. And yes.
Love them.
It works. It really does.
There we go. Well, Kelly, if somebody wants to learn more about what you do, where do they go to find that out?
So right now, you can go to my website, www.kinematicswithkelly.com. You can just search it in Google or just put Kelly Neumann, or I bet loud therapists in Chatham. I bet
That'll pop. That'd be funny. Might have to try that now just because you said that.
Right?
There you go. Awesome. Well, Dr. Neumann, appreciate you spending some time this afternoon with me. It was fun. We'll do it again.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to let Dr. Kelly Neumann get back to elevating Springfield. But for the rest of y'all, We'll be right back.
Looking for expert tree care with hometown integrity? Look no further than Sangamon Tree Service. They're your trusted local pros, delivering quality workmanship, exceptional customer service, and fair, honest pricing every time. Whether it's trimming, removal, or storm cleanup, their team brings professionalism and care to every job, big or small. Call the name your neighbors trust, Sangamon Tree Service, or visit them today at sangamontreeservice.com. Sangamon Tree Service, rooted in quality, built on trust.
All right. How about Kelly? Dr. Neumann was phenomenal, right? So many great things. Really cool tech that she's bringing into her field. I think that's great for all of us in every industry. We need to make sure we are staying on the cutting edge of tech to see how we can more efficiently do our jobs, how we can more efficiently serve our clients and impact our clients to a higher degree. And I think with some of that movement tech, that is exactly what she's doing. One of the things that struck me with Kelly was how she mentioned she found out what she wanted to do when she was in third grade. That doesn't happen with very many of us. She found her purpose very early on in life, and she continued on through that. So have you found your purpose yet? Hey, if not, here's some questions you could ask yourself, because really you need to find your purpose to be able to figure out what you should really be driving toward. Because anything you do to be successful at it is going to involve massive amounts of hard work, and you got to become obsessed with it. But you got to be obsessed with the right things. And when you find your purpose, that's going to be the right things. So, hey, a few questions for you. What excites you right now? What are you willing to do for no money? And what are you better at than anyone else? And then what do you want to be remembered for? Answers to these questions will give you answers about maybe what your purpose is and what obsessions are worth your time and what other ones you can give up. Now, you can answer those questions now, and it's not meant to just do it once and then forget about it, because you got to be able to constantly redefine what you want and who you are based on how you grow and change as a person. So keep on asking yourself this. It's almost like rebooting your operating system, right? So one thing you can do is make a daily practice of writing your goals down. And like we always talk about, make them 10x, make them huge, make them enormous, goals that everyone else will think are unattainable. If you're going to dream, might as well dream big. So figure out the answers to those questions, and hopefully you'll find your way to your purpose. And when you find your way to your purpose, it's going to lead you to be able to dominate every sector of your life. And there's 4 areas I want to talk about today. First off, dominate yourself. Dominating yourself means taking control of your attitude, your ambition, your energy, and your confidence, and making it all work for you. It means not letting your problems and fears drive you, but instead being driven by your hopes and goals. Also means weeding out the behaviors that set you back. Things that you know are not good for you and you know you need to cut. You also need to dominate your time. Finding your purpose is going to allow you to trim the fat, so to speak, and dominate your time, because your time is precious and you really need to meticulously plot out your life in that time to capitalize on what little time we all have. We don't want to be managers of time. We want to be creators of time. We want to control time. So you got to make sure every moment counts. Number 3, dominate your finances. To dominate your finances, you have to set yourself up with a system of principles, procedures, and mantras. It means allowing yourself to discuss money with others and not being shy about your desire to make more and get yourself closer to your goals. And when you find your purpose, this becomes easy. Dominating your area of expertise. When it's purpose driven, you're going to put all the extra effort, all the extra work in. Dominating your area of expertise means constantly telling yourself that you are the best of the best, even if you know you're not quite there yet. It means dominating your brand by never being ashamed to promote yourself. To dominate your life, you need to perform in every sector, become a master in every area, and feed into those obsessions and purpose. So Dr. Neumann talked a lot about the movement tech and how important data is to what she's doing there. We talk a lot about data here. We talk about goals and targets, and we talk about KPIs, key performance indicators that drive toward those goals and targets. So let's touch on KPIs again for just a moment. If you recall, KPI, key performance indicator, is a quantifiable measure used to evaluate the success of an organization or employee in meeting objectives for performance. So what KPIs are you measuring daily? Should be quite a few of them. But here's some rules as you're putting together that list. Rules for KPIs, there's 7 of them that we talk about in the 10X world. Number 1 being stats that are not looked at will always go down. If you're not looking at it, it means you're not putting any effort into it. And if you're not putting any effort into it, those stats are going to go down. Number 2, trust but verify. Trust your employees, but make sure you see the data, see the raw data. Number 3, all key metrics must be graphed. There's something about seeing that visual representation of the up and down that will keep you going. Number 4, review monthly, weekly, daily, even hourly if you need to. Number 5, stats don't lie, but people sure do. So make sure you're checking the stats. Don't just take everybody's word for it. Number 6, control equals income. If you have a 10X mindset, you want control. It is a good thing. It's not a bad thing, because when you have control, you have the ability to make decisions. You can drive the bus and you can create income. Number 7, as I mentioned at the beginning, KPIs should push you into your targets. So what are some KPIs that you have in your business right now? Hey, if you're selling, these could be some of them. Some of the most important sales KPIs: total leads, outbound calls, inbound calls, emails, how many text messages did you send, social media, outbound and inbound, appointments, demonstrations, etc. No matter what you sell, those should be in there, and there's a number of them outside of that as well. And all of this should be in your CRM, customer relationship management tool. Mandatory tech for all businesses need that CRM. A lot of other things too, but that's at least going to get you started. So again, keep an eye on your KPIs, because they are going to drive you into your goals and targets. And that is what you really want, because that is what makes an impact on you, your business, and your clients. So thanks again to Dr. Neumann. So much great stuff. We'll be right back with more after the break.
When I first walked into Shudokan Karate Club, I was just looking for a way to get stronger, but what I found was so much more. Here we train in traditional karate, the real stuff, passed down through generations. Every punch, every kata has purpose. I've learned self-discipline, confidence, and how to protect myself. Not just in class, but in real life. It's not about being aggressive, it's about being prepared. This is more than a club, it's a way of life. Join us at Shudokan, traditional, powerful, real. Ki.
Well, thank you for joining us today, everybody. Appreciate you making us a part of your day. Hey, while you're out on all your socials, give us a look. Head over to @RobertFarrell, @everywhere, or those Elevate Springfield pages as well. Give us a like, give us a follow. We would certainly appreciate it. Head on over to YouTube @RobertFarrell. One quick and easy place to see all the different clips from the show. And we're going to start posting more of the longer form shows as well. Thank you to Dr. Neumann for stopping by. A lot of great stuff. Really cool tech involved in what she was doing, and I'm looking forward to seeing where that goes. And don't forget, y'all, #Mission to Move and #Movement is Medicine. Let's go. We'll take what you learned today. You bring the discipline and follow through, and together, that's right, y'all, we're going to elevate Springfield. Be great.
Looking for personalized insurance with hometown care? David Hilst, American Family Insurance Agents, here to help you protect what matters most: your family, your home, and your dreams. Whether it's auto, home, life, business, David and his team are proud to serve the Springfield community with trusted advice and reliable coverage. Local service, real relationships, peace of mind. Call today or stop by their office. They can build your dream protection plan together. Call 217-726-6343